Good morning, good morning, good morning. Gonna log myself on, a little bit out of breath, just been playing tennis. What have we got? Let's get my name on here, Mr. Jordan, and then I can see all of you. Hello, who have we got? Alamin, good morning. Good morning, Omar, good morning, Ramin. Let's click on this. Let's get the live lesson up. How are we doing for children? 24, a little bit lower. Anglesey Primary School. Where's the live lesson? There it is, Thursday live. Click, click, click. There it is, Thursday live. Brilliant. Who have we got then? Iniat Kamal. Iniat, what a lovely name. There's an Iniat Khan, which we might have a look at and do some research about. Miss Cho, it says it will start at 6:55. Oh, did I put 6:55 by mistake? I meant 9:55. Good morning, guys. Gonna wait 6 minutes more. What are you waiting 6 minutes for? Ahmed. Good morning, Zain. Lovely to see all of you. We're here. Good morning. Hi. Did I put the wrong start time on it? That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Edit. I wonder if I can change that. Oh, I did. I put 6:55. I meant 9:55. I'll change that now. I'll pop down 10 o'clock. 9:55. Save. There we go. Back to the right time. Ibrahim Mizan. Hey, good morning, Ibrahim. Good to see you on here. Is Ishmael on as well? Good to see you. Oh, in here, it's Rania. Oh, hello, Rania. Sorry. I'm very good, Ramin. Lovely to see you. Samin, I've forgotten who that is. Hi, Mr. Jordan. Good to see you. Sadia, don't forget, you have to keep popping your name on as well. Oh, sorry. It says YouTube couldn't update the video. I'm sorry. If I've left it at 6:55, it's just going to say 6:55 from now on. But you all know to be on at 10. I wonder if that means we're going to have less people today. We had trouble saving your video. Retry in 5 seconds. Okay, I will. I'll retry in 5 seconds. 1, 2. Nope, won't update yet. Doesn't matter. You've got loads of parts in your story, have you? Noah, that's really good. Hey, Shwaib. Oh, it's Yusuf Mir. Keep forgetting that one. Yusuf M, right. Good. Morning, Ridwan. Hiba, good morning. Who is Niggy Niggs? I don't remember who that is. Well done, Noah. Yeah, really good. Anas, good morning to you. Anjamara, good morning. Alicina. You have 5 pages in your story. Wowzers. I cannot wait to have a look at that story. Video chat. Alicia. Yeah, well done, Alicia. That is fantastic. Anissa. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Anissa. I'll probably keep forgetting and calling you Bilal, but I'll do my best to remember. Bilal is Anissa. Inya is Rania. Oh, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Attic. I'm having a lovely day, Attic. It's Thursday. I'm always excited. It's almost Friday, and Friday's my best day. I love Fridays. So I get excited on Thursday for it. Mr. Jordan, is it any people doing work on your email? Yeah, loads of people, Yusuf, are sending loads of work on the email. So I'm really proud of all of the work people are sending. People are sending it via email, and they're also posting it on Google Classrooms to the Year 3 page, okay? Remember, there is a video showing you all about how to use Google Classrooms. We did go over it in the lesson. I mean, if you really want some more help, I can go over it one more time. I might, at the end of today's live stream, I might just remind you, we'll have a little look at the work that's being set today so that we're all off to a good start. I've still got my big questions from yesterday that we're going to talk about today. Me 5-0. I'm in 5-0. My story is called Ghost. Oh, Alicia, I cannot wait to read it. It sounds very exciting. Morning, Sultan Sanja. Lovely to see you here. Dawud Islam, good morning. Harris, good morning. Good morning. Sadia, hope you have a lovely weekend and the future. That's very nice of you, Attic. I'm sure I will. I look forward to seeing some of your work today. Don't forget, we're going to be doing your Mrs. C work in literacy. Looking forward to seeing that, Attic. And well done for the work you sent in yesterday. The climate change research. That's really good. You did it on your iPad, Noah. Brilliant. You've got to use all the different ways we can do it. Do you know what? Typing the story is sometimes easier than writing the story. Nothing wrong with doing that. And it's called Phantom. I can't wait to read it. Yes, reader, I'm having a lovely morning. I've just been playing table tennis and tennis with the guys this afternoon. I'm going to be doing an experiment with Coke and Mentos. I'm going to try and video it, and I'll pop that up. So I'd love to see some science experiments that go on at home. That would be great. Please send Alicia I would love to read it. Yes, please do, Miss Choate saying. Good morning, Miss Choate, by the way. Hi, everyone. Yusuf saying, good morning. Roxana, good morning. Harris is saying good morning to Miss Choate. That's good. Ramin, sorry if you're glitching, probably just because of the internet speed. Our internet here at school is pretty good, so it might be internet at home. What should you do? Best thing to do, maybe refresh the page. So there's that little swirly refresh button. And sometimes if you just refresh your page, oh, that pen's not working at all. That's no good, is it? Sometimes if you refresh the page, that will help. I need to find a pen that works. That would also help me, wouldn't it? I wonder if this one works. Yes, you might see a little refresh button up at the top. You've got your back button, your forward button, and a refresh button. If you press that refresh button, it might help with the glitching. That's about as much advice as I can give you right now. 48 only, still waiting for people to turn up. Who else have we got? Good morning, Musa. Morning, Abdu Yusuf. Hello, Alice. Good morning, Sadia Bibi. Bibi, are you saying the BBC? Because have you looked at some of the things that have been on the BBC? Just to remind you guys, there's some amazing resources on the BBC. You must use it. We all pay a license fee in this country so that we can have such incredible resources that the BBC offers us. It has so many things to learn. There are games on the BBC that you can play. You get characters, you level them up. They're going to help you with your literacy skills, with your reading, with your maths, okay? So please go onto the BBC website. Do you know what? I'll post a link right now, just whilst we're waiting to start. I'll find you a link for the BBC Bite Size Key Stage 2 level work. Key Stage 2, BBC Bite Size. I'm going to pop that down. Copy. I'm going to pop it here onto the live chat. Paste. And then I'll pin it to the top. When you're finished with this, pin. There we go. Right, I've pinned. Hopefully it should pop up here at some point. There it is. I've pinned the website for the BBC. It's really good, got loads of resources. If you get time, do it after this. Click on that link. You'll see that there are resources for literacy, for maths, for reading. There are all sorts of things in there. Good morning, Issa. Good to see you. Do they teach you how to do? Absolutely, Yusuf. That's exactly what the BBC does. They have made such an effort, poured loads of money into it. There are live lessons on the BBC that you can watch on BBC Two. You can go onto BBC iPlayer and you can catch up and learn all sorts of things. They've done really detailed lessons. There are also on the bite-sized page, I'm just gonna have a look now. You can click in, for example, click into English. And once you're in English, there's lockdown learning. There's a game called Crystal Explorers. There are spelling guides. There are little videos. There are games. There are all sorts of things on there. Really good to use those resources. We're very lucky in this country to have the BBC. So yes, they will teach you all of that stuff. Good morning, Samuel. Good to see you. Oh, I'm excited to read it then, Noah, at some point. Yeah, Issa 3J, I know who you are. I'm glad that you're on. Morning, Lowy. The BBC website is completely free. Yeah, you do not have to log in or spend a penny on it. The education resources are there for you to use. Yeah, it is a big national institution. It's a bit like the NHS, I guess. In a way, we pay taxes to fund the NHS. Well, we pay a license fee to fund the BBC, but it means that everyone can access all the content on the BBC for free. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. It's all there for you. You don't have to sign up to anything. Good morning, Awi. Hi, everybody. Brilliant. I think, yes, Nabi, you're absolutely right. There's also all sorts of news on there. Morning, Mr. Romero. So use that to find out what's going on. Okay, got to 60. Time for me to start. And as per usual, I will start with the news. I will look at your work. We will then move on to answering these two questions here. Then we have got some English, where we are looking at, what are we doing now? We're continuing with our spooky story. We're looking at building suspense using the 3-question technique. And we're going to use a bit of pathetic fallacy that we picked from last week. And we're going to pop that in today. And then in maths, we're just going to end off by looking at a little bit of fractions. If you want, at the very end, I'll also just quickly show you and remind you how to use the school website in case there was anybody who missed it from yesterday. Okay, right. So good morning, year 3. Good morning, year 4, year 5. Everybody who's tuning in. If there's any year 2s as well, lovely to see all of you here. Everybody is welcome. Just to remind you, and I will remind you again tomorrow, is that me and Mr. Keeling and I should say, always put the other person first. Mr. Keeling and I are doing the live stream 24 hours on Monday, so you can tune in at any point during that. What we will be doing is posting on Twitter the different lessons at different times, because we're not going to set to a complete schedule. So if you do see the school's Twitter feed, Anglesey Primary School on Twitter, keep updated, see what we are updating and showing what lessons are happening when, and then you can watch it at any point, really. It might not get recorded for the future, so if you don't watch it live, you might not get another chance to watch it. So it'd be good for you to tune in at different times. It also means that on Tuesday and Wednesday, there won't be a morning lesson, but there will be a morning lesson tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow is quiz day. Can't wait for it. Sweetie's coming around to 3 lucky, fantastic workers. Right, news time. So what is in the news today? First thing, the number of, now this was a story that I did mostly for Miss Duncan, because I know Miss Duncan cares about this very, very much. The number of hedgehogs has been in serious decline in the UK. Look how cute these little hedgehogs are. They are such a sweet little animal. They are spiky, they are friendly, they are lovely. In 1950, Britain had around 30 million hedgehogs. 30 million, that's a good number of hedgehogs. Today, we're down to around 1 million. So we have lost 29 million hedgehogs. Okay, this is really, really sad news. Yeah, you're asking why are they dying? Great question. The reason hedgehogs are dying out is, well, I'm going to give 3 reasons here. 1, we're building houses and cities and roads all over the places. Hedgehogs, they like to wander from one place to another. They snuffle underneath the leaves, they hide in things, they crawl all over the place. Yusuf, please don't talk about Facebook on here. They crawl under things, and the problem is when we build roads, well, hedgehogs are quite slow. So crossing roads, they end up getting squashed. And then we tarmac over things. We put concrete on the ground. They can't dig under the concrete and tarmac. So they're losing their environment. The hedgehogs have been here before we were here in Britain. And we're destroying their world. So we need to think really hard. Another problem is the chemicals that we put in our gardens and we put on our fields. There are lots of pesticides. Sometimes if we've got some insects, we spray a spray onto the plants to kill off all the bugs. Well, unfortunately, hedgehogs eat those bugs, and that means the poison goes into them as well. So we are building and destroying their world. We are poisoning them with the things we do. And lastly, people aren't thinking about them anymore. It used to be that people used to feed hedgehogs. They used to make little dens for them. I know in our garden, in my mum's garden, sorry, back in the Peak District, we've got little hedgehog house and things. But in the cities, it's hard. People forget about these sort of things. So we need to really think and care about our hedgehogs. They're going to become protected species, hopefully, and get super protection, which means in the future, when people are building properties and new roads and things, they're going to have to think about keeping the hedgehogs safe. So I thought, just because I know Miss Duncan cares about these a big deal, that I would mention that. They went from 30 million in 1950 to only 1 million today. That's really sad. So in 70 years, we've lost 29 million hedgehogs. Very, very sad. So I'm sorry, sad news there. Another, I guess, well, a bit of good news. As you know, obviously, I always talk about the vaccine a little bit. And in Britain, we're making loads of vaccines. We've got really good scientists. It would be a really good profession for you to go into, science. Yeah, chemicals and chemistry. These scientists have created an amazing vaccine, which is made in Oxford, of course, as you know. Now, the EU, our poor friends in the EU, now they don't quite have the same level of science and as we do, and they are struggling, and they are asking us for more vaccines. So we're going to try and help our friends out, hopefully, by sending them some vaccines that we've got spare. It's good, isn't it, when we can help other people? We do that in class, don't we? When we know the answer to something, we try and help our friend to understand it. Well, we're lucky because in Britain, we've got the vaccines and the science, so we're going to help our little friends in Europe out a little bit, which is nice. Oh, another one. This guy, you might not know him. He tried to be president once. His name is John Kerry of America. Well, he has just said, because we were talking about climate change, weren't we, that there's going to be a big meeting in Britain this year in November. It's going to be the UK conference on climate change. It's going to be in Glasgow. And he said that this is going to be the big event when we can finally do something to change the world forever to benefit climate change, to stop the climate from being destroyed. So that leads us nicely onto showing some of your research and our first topic, which is finding out what climate change is, because there's going to be a lot more speaking about climate change. It's becoming more and more of an issue. So I thought I'd show you some of the work that you guys have sent me in. I've had loads of brilliant research. I've got here from Harris. We've got all sorts of bullet points talking about the things happening: rising sea levels, shrinking mountain glaciers, changes in the flowering times, even about the greenhouse effect, which we're going to talk about. There's a picture of a greenhouse to explain how the greenhouse effect works. We're going to look at this. Here is Atik Hussein, has done lots of writing here, a lot of stuff I think he got from online, which is really nice. We've got Ayab has done all sorts of, look at the amount of research and work that's going on there in that booklet. The school did say they were going to get some booklets out, so I hope some booklets are going to come to you at some point. And talking about the warming of the environment, Zubairul has done some great work from 3P. What is the greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is a process that occurs when gases in the Earth's atmosphere trap the sun's heat. Oh, we're going to talk exactly about that next. Really good research there, really good. We've got here is some maths work that's been sent in, looking at division of like apples and different amounts. And I thought I'd show this one from Saren. Saren's one of the first people to send me in her work from Mrs. C. And you remember how Mrs. C's work's laid out. Okay, I'd love to see your work from Mrs. C as Saren's done. Here, of course, are the jotting sides with all the words that she's copied and taken from Mrs. C. And over here is Saren's independent writing, okay, building up on that story. So please do get some of that on. Guys, I can see in the chat, try and focus on what we are talking about and don't chat to each other, okay? I've had some parents who are a little bit upset that when their children are here, all they're doing is looking at the chat at the side and they're not focusing on what's being said. Just as in a lesson, you wouldn't talk to each other. It's important to try your best to listen. I know it's nice to see your friends, but try your best to listen. Last little one here, I thought was a really nice one. We've got, this is from Abdi Saeed in 3P, and he's shown a picture of the Earth and this little thing around it. And actually, I'm going to start by talking about that on the board now, because our first thing we're going to do is talk about that topic we spoke about yesterday, which is climate change and the greenhouse effect. Well, we need to know quite a lot of things to understand this, but I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Here is our Earth, okay? There's little old Britain, and there's Europe, and you know, I'm not going to draw all of it. There's a picture the world going off like this, and there's America over there. Right, that's my quick drawing of the world, okay? Around the world is this really small layer. And this layer is called, and I'm sure some of you in the chat know already, but it's called the atmosphere. The atmosphere. The atmosphere is what keeps all the air in. Okay, if it wasn't for our atmosphere, then we wouldn't be able to breathe. There'd be no air here. If you go up onto the moon does not have an atmosphere. There is no air on the moon. You can't breathe it. Any air that I released into the moon would just float off into space because they don't have an atmosphere. You've got to imagine it's like this big blanket or a cocoon that is wrapping around us and keeping all of our gas in. It is so important that we protect it. Now, we are doing something really bad, and as I'm sure you all know, we are digging up. Here is a picture, here is the sea, and here is the land. Now, one thing we are doing is we are drilling deep into ground, and we are taking oil from deep underground. We are taking that oil out, we're burning it, we're turning that oil into petrol, we take the gas from the ground, we are turning that oil into plastic, and all of this is releasing a gas. It's releasing a gas called CO2, carbon dioxide. Now, it's not just carbon dioxide, but there's also monoxide and there's methane and lots of other ones, but I'm going to focus on carbon dioxide. It's releasing this gas called carbon dioxide. Actually, that's the same gas that we breathe out when we breathe. Hey, quick question for you. How do we reduce the carbon dioxide? What do we do to turn carbon dioxide back into oxygen? Is there anything in the world that can turn carbon dioxide back into oxygen? Can you remember? You should know about this because we did talk about it. What turns carbon dioxide back into oxygen that we breathe? Oh, very good, guys. Trees, plants. You're absolutely right. The plants and trees are the things that turn this back into oxygen. But naughty humans, what are we doing? We are chopping down the forests. We are knocking down all the forests. We're killing off the plants and building our houses. We are tarmacking over things. We're using the forest and we're turning it into places to have cows so we can eat more burgers. And we are destroying our environment. This means that the amount of CO2 from chopping our trees, from bringing up all this oil and burning everything is going up and up and up. Now, why is that a bad thing, you ask? Well, this is what links us to something called the greenhouse effect. You might know that a greenhouse is a little building made of glass where you can grow your plants. And the reason that we have these little buildings made of glass, especially in Britain, is because it's very cold in the winter. In fact, it's not even that warm in the summer. And what a greenhouse does, it takes the energy from the sun, and the sun's lights go into the greenhouse. Now, some of it goes out, but some of it bounces around in the greenhouse. You might know that glass, even though some light goes out, you might see sometimes you get reflections in glass, don't you? Yeah. So the greenhouse takes in all the heat and then it bounces the heat around inside it. And it makes the greenhouse warmer inside than it is outside. So why is the Earth having a greenhouse effect? Well, what's happening? The sun's light is going into the Earth. And normally, a lot of it will bounce around and keep us warm, but lots of it will also bounce out as well. Carbon dioxide is like a blanket at night. Carbon dioxide gets warm and stays warm. We are increasing the amount of this blanket in our atmosphere, which means that as the sun heats us up, then that heat is staying in here and bouncing about, making the Earth warmer and warmer and warmer. The amount of carbon dioxide over the years, which was very low to start with, has gone up and up and up. And with this, the temperature has gone up and up and up. So every time we are releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it's like putting another layer of blanket over our bed. And you can imagine at nighttime, the more blankets you have, the warmer, the hotter you're going to get. And as you get hot, you begin to sweat, and it's not nice. What people have said is, well, you know that the top of the Earth and the bottom of the Earth is mostly ice. Well, what happens to ice as it warms up? It melts. And if all the ice at the top of the world and the bottom of the world starts to melt, well, you can tell me, what do you think is going to happen if all the ice at the top and bottom of the world melts? Have a little, what do you think is going to happen if all of the ice starts to melt in the world? What do you reckon? Yeah, it melts. What's going to happen? Water. What do you think will happen? Flooding. Yes, floods. Floods. Not only floods, but it's going to change the weather. It changes the winds. It changes everything around the world. Any city that's really low will end up flooding. Countries, in fact, for example, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a country that is pretty much at sea level. It is a very low country. It lives along a big river delta. And even now it floods a lot in Bangladesh. But as the seas are going to rise, there are going to be more and more floods. Now, all of this sounds scary, okay? And I don't want to lie to you. It is a little bit scary. But there are things we can do. There are things we can do to stop it. In fact, there are things you can do to stop it, okay? What sort of things do you think you can do to help reduce this from happening? So this is happening because we're making loads of electricity, we're burning lots of gases, we're chopping down forests. What could you do? Have a little think to yourself. What could you do? Yes, you. What could you do to help stop climate change? Have a little think. What could you do? Yeah. Well, it's not just Bangladesh. New York is on sea level. London is at sea level. All of these cities are suffering. What could you do? Okay, Harris has said we could start planting more trees. Brilliant. Well, the British government has said now that we've left the European Union, we have the opportunity to start planting more and more forests. That's one thing we're going to do. The more plants, the more forests, that's going to help to absorb some carbon dioxide. I like it. What has somebody else said? Drive electric cars. Good. Yeah, Birmingham is introducing something called the Clean Air Zone. If you've got an old polluting car in Birmingham, you're going to start have to paying lots of money every day. So they're encouraging us to start using electric cars. And electric cars do not give off any bad gases, okay? Especially in this country, electric cars are good because actually most of the electricity you're starting to get now is from clean sources, it's from windmills and solar, so it's really good. What else have we got? Plants do grow very well at the moment because plants need carbon dioxide to grow. So actually, when there's more carbon dioxide, plants actually grow bigger. So plants can grow very well. What else have we got? Plastic. Yeah. Now, some people are saying, stop wasting plastic. Every time we buy a plastic bottle from a shop, that plastic has been made from the oil that we have dug underground. It is polluting. It is bad. If we stick with one, you see, you might have seen me. I always drink from one water bottle. It is made of plastic, but I'm reusing it over and over again. So reuse plastic. Don't throw it away. Don't waste it. Try, let's say, when you're at the shops with your mum and dad, if you see apples and bananas and things, don't buy the bananas that are in a plastic bag. Get the bananas that are not in plastic. So reducing plastic is a really, really big one. Yeah, this is really, really good. Yeah, well, do you know what? We don't need to be scared in Birmingham because we are a long, long way from the sea, but we do need to be scared for the world, and we really need to do something. So let's have a look. Any more? Yeah, we could make posters. We could make campaigns. Yeah, well, don't worry. It's not happening in Bangladesh right now. But what I'm saying is low-lying countries, it's not just Bangladesh, London. If the sea levels rise too much, it could be a real catastrophe and people could lose their homes. There are lots of floods happening. But yeah, I've seen the YouTuber, Mr. Beast is working on planting 20 million trees, isn't he? I've seen that already. Yeah, recycling, really good. Don't throw plastic bags everywhere. I like it. All right, guys. Whew, long time I'm speaking on climate change. Last thing I'll say about it, there is some good news coming. And the reason I showed you that man, John Kerry, is because this guy works for our friend Joe Biden. He works for Joe Biden, okay? And Joe Biden wants to save the planet. Donald Trump did not believe in climate change. He said that it was fake news. He said it was rubbish. But we know that it's actually true because carbon dioxide is like an insulator. It holds heat. And so you can prove that more carbon dioxide in the air means that the atmosphere will be warming up. That is provable fact, okay? These guys, Joe Biden is saying that, and John Kerry are saying, look, America is now going to support it. And if America starts supporting it, because Donald Trump didn't support it, because Britain's been supporting a long time, our poor friends in the EU have been supporting it, China's even starting to support it. If we get all of the world together to agree to it, we might be able to do something, which is really, really good. Hey, please do not spam the chat. I say that to you every day. Okay, next thing, we're going to move on. Whew. Talked a lot about climate change there. It is some literacy time, okay? Spooky stories. Today, what we're going to be doing is talking about how we can build suspense, okay? Suspense is a great word. It's that thing when you're kind of wanting to know what is happening next. And you're kind of building that feeling, okay? Imagine going up the roller coaster. You're going up, you're going up, you're going up, you're going up, and you're thinking all the time, what's going to happen when I go down? Am I going to go upside down? What's going to happen? Yeah, you're building that feeling of anticipation, and eventually you're going to release it, and woo! So today what we're doing is we're building up. Yesterday, we spoke about walking through the creepy, dark forest. We built some personification as the branches tapped them on their shoulders. We then had some dialogue. What was that? I'm scared. Well, today, our first thing we're going to use is our 3 questions technique. Our 3 questions technique. And what this is sometimes we can write some questions in our story, and it makes the reader think. I'm going to give you an example. She walked into the room. What was that? Is somebody there? Am I not alone? Now, those 3 questions that I asked, they made the reader think something was going on. What was that? Is somebody there? Am I not alone? Yeah, and these questions are building that suspense of thinking, wow, something might be coming. It's coming towards me. What is it? What could it be? So these 3 questions technique, I really, really like. And what I would like you to do, first things first, I'm going to fill up with our suggestion side, and then I'm going to start carrying on my story over here, is I would like you to tell me what sort of questions might Bob and Lucy be asking themselves as they're walking through the forest. They have seen this deep, dark, dingy forest. The shadows are moving all around. The tree has tapped them. The grass is biting at them. What questions might they ask? What questions might they ask? Okay. The wall was not quite finished between Mexico and America. Try and focus on what we are talking about. So your question now, I would like 3 questions that's going to build a bit of suspense. What might they ask themselves as they walk through the forest? What was that? Can you hear that? What questions could they ask? Let's hear some questions. Right. Let's have a look. What do we got? Yeah, they are listening. Anyone there? Harris has started us off. I'm going to write that down. Anyone there? Anyone there? Question mark. Saidia. But who is it? Who is it? Remember, a question needs a question mark at the end. Can you try and find your question mark button? Yeah. What? Who is that? Who is that? Could even be, what is that? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? These are good. Who is here? What is there? Take us, traitor. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's not a question, though, is it, Yusuf? Is anyone else here? Are we alone? I like that question. Are we alone? What else have we got? Let's hear a few more. Am I not alone? Am I not alone? Yeah. What's that noise? These are good, aren't they? Who is that? Said Lucy. Why do I have a feeling we are being watched from the skies? Oh, I like that one. Why do I have? I'm just going to put this weird feeling. Right. These are really good questions, okay? I'm going to use these 3 questions in a minute when I come to writing my sentences. So don't write me any full sentences yet. Remember, I'm just getting ideas. Look, these are really good. Who are you? What if I'm not alone? Brilliant. Okay, you can stop with your questions now. Don't worry if they still keep popping up for a little bit. Right, I love these questions. These are great. And I'm going to use some more of the ones that you are adding on here because they are fantastic. Okay, first part, I'm going to use the 3 question technique. Second part, I'm going to use pathetic fallacy. And pathetic fallacy, if you remember from last week and the week before, is when we use the weather to change the mood. We're going to use the weather to change the mood. Okay, so he might ask a question. You might go, are we alone? What was that? Can you hear that? And then the weather's going to change. Okay, the skies turned grey. Thick clouds filled the air. The wind whooshed through the trees. A cold chill shivered my body. Can I have a few things? Can I have a few ideas from you? How might the weather change that's going to make me feel really a bit more scared? How can you change the weather to make me feel like something bad is going to happen? What can you do to the weather? Can you have a go at that for me, please? So, yeah, you're right, Dawud Ali. Well done, weather, pathetic fallacy. So I want you to change the weather for me. What can you do to change the weather that's going to make it feel really spooky? It's not going to be a rainbow, is it? Let's be honest. There's not going to be a rainbow. There's not going to be birds tweeting. It's not going to be lovely white fluffy clouds. Yeah, what are we going to have in the weather that is going to make the mood change? Let's have a look. What do we got? Hannah, what's that? Good girl. So, weather time. Don't worry. Yeah, very good. I have a bad feeling that we're not alone. These are really good. Let's go. Are we getting some weather? Okay. Right. We could have rain and fog. Those are bad. There could be storm, thunder. I like that one. The night grew darker. Ooh, I like that idea of the night growing. That's really cool, isn't it? There was a hailstorm. Hailstorms are good because hailstorms have thick, big balls of ice. Yeah, that would be quite scary, wouldn't it? The wind swishes, they say. What's that? Lightning? Yeah, in the air. This is good. Storms. Tornadoes. Ooh, that would be bad. I like that one. What else? A sudden drop in temperature. It rains. A thunderstorm occurs along with fog. These are really good, aren't they? A storm came rumbling. I like that word rumbling. That's really good, isn't it? Really good onomatopoeia, actually. Rumble. Storm came rumbling. A thunderstorm occurred along with fog. Yeah, these are really good. You're getting this pathetic fallacy now, aren't you? Which is really good news. Yeah, we're getting that idea of how we use the weather to change the mood of the story because things are getting bad. Right, I'm going to take a few of these. I'll just pop down a few that you've written. You've written about storm. You've written fogs. You've written about thunder. You've written about lightning, hail, rain. We've got words like grey. Okay, loads of really good things there. Yeah, fog. Yeah, really good. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm now going to use my questions and then pathetic fallacy to write my next little paragraph for my story. And what I'd like you then to do is I want you to have a little go where you're going to write some questions and then you're going to change the weather and use pathetic fallacy to change the mood. Okay, so let me start. I'm going to start with what could that be? Where are we heading? Did you hear that? What could that be? Where are we heading? Did you hear that? And then I'm going to say, the clouds grew darker. Rain began to fall. A thick fog filled the air. And then last one, short one here, thunder rumbled. Okay, so I'm going to read what I came up with, okay? What could that be? Where are we heading? Did you hear that? The clouds grew darker. Rain began to fall. A thick fog filled the air. Ooh, look what I've done there. Thick fog filled the air. I've used a bit of alliteration. Didn't even mean to do that, but it sounds good, doesn't it? A thick fog filled the air. Thunder rumbled. And I like that. I put a full stop there. This sentence here has just two words in it. Thunder rumbled. I like that for the impact of it. And that word rumbled is such good onomatopoeia. Really good who suggested that for me. So this is what I'd like you to do for me. Noah, please don't share Roblox usernames and things. Yes, you're talking about the work, aren't you? So could you give me your little extra bit to your story now? So I want your 3-question technique to build suspense. And then I would like to see your pathetic fallacy. Okay, so 3 questions and then pathetic fallacy. Now, these are questions I'm asking to the reader. So the Lucy and Bob aren't actually saying these. Okay, you can have them say it if you want. But for me, these are actually questions, me as the writer, I'm asking it to the reader. So I don't need speech marks right now for this. So give me 3 questions and then the weather. Describe how the weather changes. And I'm going to have a little read of some of your sentences. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time now, because I know it takes a minute just to write down what you have got. And then I'm going to have a little read. If you want to use little bits that we've already used, that's absolutely right. Think about using the right kind of weather for it. Great, that's you at Halloween. Now focus, Mr. Merrill, on your sentences, please. Don't worry if you're late, Tabor, that's absolutely fine. We're just doing a little bit of sentence writing. We're trying to build the suspense of the story, and we're using a bit of pathetic fallacy. So I'm asking 3 questions. What could that be? Where are we heading? Did you hear that? And then I'm going to use the weather to enhance my story. The clouds grew darker. Rain began to fall. A thick fog filled the air. Thunder rumbled. Okay, so let's have a little look at what we are writing. Yusuf, please don't write this. You need to be focusing on what I've asked you to do, please. What do we got? Flood tornado. Who is that? Said Bob. What is that? Said Lucy. Yeah, this is good. I want you to just come on, spend a little moment here and write some proper sentence for me. That's what I'd like you to do. Write a proper sentence. Spend a little bit of time. Get it written down now, and I'm going to read what you got. So I'm going to go quiet for a minute. I don't want to see, I'm going to be reading the chat, so I don't want to see any more chat about anything else other than these sentences. So for those of you who are just joining, so I see the numbers are going up, we're asking 3 questions to build suspense, the 3-question technique, and then we're using pathetic fallacy. We're using the weather to change it. Come on, focus on this. Let's have a look. What have we got? A little bit of sentence. Come on, a little bit of writing. What is that? Yeah, Ayab, that's good. Seen that. So where's your pathetic fallacy? What can you do? Some weather as well. Don't worry. You can, if you've got a parent with you, you can have a go at that. Let's see, Ibrahim, Ishmael, and people. Let's see. It doesn't matter if a brother or sister is working with you. That's fantastic. So questions and weather. That's nice, Yusuf. What about the weather? Okay, can you add the weather at the end? Oh, okay, we're starting to have some things coming in here. Yeah, cloud filled the sky. Why did that happen? Thunder rumbled. I don't like this. I like how Dawud Ali's putting the speech in between building up the pathetic fallacy. That actually sounds quite good. Bob and Jack were playing. Suddenly it went dark and cold and quiet. Then suddenly thunder roared. Jack screamed. Yeah, that's really good, Musa. Now we're starting to get some good sentences coming through. Well done. Who is that? Is it a prank? Yeah, good questions. What do we got? Howie. What is that? Where am I? Where was I last? The thunder crushed to the ground. Anyone there? Are we alone? Can you hear me? The night turned darker and darker. Hail fell from the horrific sky. A breeze became a storm. The fog spread. Oh, that is so good there from Harris. I love that. Ibrahim, did you hear that? What's going on? Clouds rumbled, loud and dark. Fog appears. Ibrahim Mizan, that is absolutely fantastic. I love that one. Really good. The weather swooshed. Fireballs shattered the sky, became dark. Ooh, these are nice. We're getting there now. What was that? Said Lucy. Oh, it's raining, said Bob. Yeah, you could do it through dialogue. That's true. What else have we got? What was that? I'm not alone. Thunder came and crashed. Really good. Yeah, capital letters and full stops, Miss Cho is reminding you. That is really, really good. Well done. Okay. These are some really good sentences. I'll tell you what, as these sentences keep popping in, I know Miss Cho is going to be reading through them, and I'll keep looking. I've already seen that one. Oh, it said Lucy, tree was a storm. There was a storm. I'm going to keep reading these as they come through, and I'm just going to rub this out. I'm going to get us ready just for our last little bit of the lesson. Oh, who are you? Said Lucy. The sky turned dark and gloomy. Thunder roared. Who's there? Asked Bob. Are you still there, Lucy? I can see you. It's dark. So you've mixed the dialogue. Do you know, I need to read a few more of these because they're really good. Anyone there? Who is it? Where are we heading? Says Samuel. The clouds went dark. A big cloud, an enormous tornado came in and pulled everything in its path while a gigantic strike of lightning crashed on the ground. Oh, I like it. He's really good. Right, I'm going to clear some of this off as I prepare for our last part of the lesson. These are really good sentences that are popping through here. So well done about that. Really good. I'm going to keep reading a few. What have I got from Hussein? What was that? Who is there? Anyone there? Rain started and touched their heads. Thunder was heard in the background. Clouds became black. I love the idea of rain touching them. That's personification, isn't it? Okay, finish off writing the one you're writing, and myself and Miss Cho will read through it, which is really, really good. And just before we go, back's still hurting. Last little bit we're going to do is we're going to talk about some fractions. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 questions to start off, just to see that you are still okay with it. And I'd like to know what fraction each of these shapes has shaded. And then we're going to talk about fractions, and we're going to remind ourselves how to find fractions of numbers. So we have got this. I'm going to shade in that much. I'm going to shade in that much. And then I'm going to shade in that much. So can you see I've got 3 fractions on the board? A, B, and C. Could you tell me in the chat what fraction have I shaded? So you're going to say A equals B equals C equals. What fractions have I got on the board? Can you show me what fractions have we got on the board? That would be really helpful. What fractions have we got on the board? Let's have a look. A equals B equals C equals. Very good. All right, first one's up. With A, we have got 2 shaded out of a possible 3. 2 out of a possible 3. Very good. Let's have a look then at B. Very good, guys. You have got 1 out of a possible 4 shaded. I like it. 1 out of 4. We also call that a quarter. Very good. And that last one, we have got, oh, well done, Rania, for getting that. I'm going to read that in a second. On the last one there, we've got 3 out of a possible 4. Okay? So you can literally see that 2 out of 3 are shaded, 1 out of 4 is shaded, 3 out of 4 is shaded over there. Okay, that's the easy bit. So we're going to carry on with that slightly more complicated part from last lesson. And the first question that I'm going to pop up, I'm going to ask, what is 2/3 of 12? What is 2/3 of 12? Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is find out what 1/3 of 12 is, okay? So I'm dividing my 12, here it is, into 3 equal parts. Because remember, the denominator, the demon denominator down at the bottom, shows you how many equal parts you can have. The nice numerator up at the top shows you how many parts you have got. So 12, I'm going to divide it by 3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4, because there's 4 3s in 12. So if 1/3 equals 4, then 2/3 must equal, and I can see loads of people have it in the chat. Ayab, don't spam, please. Then I can see that 2/3 must equal 8. Okay? So if 1/3 equals 4, then 2/3 must equal 8. So what I've done, when I said 2/3 of 12, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 12 things, and I'm turning them into thirds because the denominator is 3. So I'm going to divide them into 3 equal parts. There's 1 equal part, there's another equal part, there's another equal part. And you can see that this is 1 out of 3, that is 1 out of 3, and that is 1 out of 3. Okay? So altogether, if I had 3 out of 3, I would have 12. So 3 out of 3 would be 12. Okay. Let's have a look at this in a slightly different way then. I'll do it one more time where I'm showing it, and then I'm going to ask you to have a go at it as well. Okay? Let's have a look at this one then. Oh, gosh, dropping all the things all over the place. Let's have a go at this. I'm going to stick with, actually no, I'm not. I'm going to do fifths this time. So I'm going to ask for, I want to see 2/5 of 15. Okay, 2/5 of 15. Well, what do I need to do? First of all, I'm going to think, right, what is 1/5 of 15? Well, 1/5 would be 15 divided by 5. So I'm going to divide by the denominator. 15 divided by 5. How many 5s in 15? 5, 10, 15, 3. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, so if 1/5 is 3, 2/5 must equal 6, because I've got 2/5. Okay, if 1/6 is 3, I can see loads of you got that right answer, then 2/5 must equal 6. Oh, fantastic. Really, really good. Okay, can you have a go then? I'm going to ask you this question. Where's my board, Robert? It's over here. Right, I would like to know What are 2/3 of 9? So we have got, I'm gonna have to end soon. We've got 9 beads. So what would 2/3 of 9 be? So first thing I'm gonna have to think is, right, what would 1/3 of 9 be? So what is 9 divided by 3? And if I know what 9 divided by 3 is, then I should know what 2/3 would be. So let's have a look. We've got lots of different answers popping through here in the chat. Yeah, Anas, please only write it once. Do not spam the chat. It's really important that we're not spamming. Okay, lots of different questions here. Yeah, once is definitely enough, as Miss Choke says. So, right, to find 2/3 of 9, I'm going to divide it into 3. I'm dividing into 3 equal bits. My denominator always shows me how many equal bits I'm dividing it into. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go 9 divided by 3 equals 3, which means 1/3 must equal 3. And I can check that out here, because look, if this is my whole thing, I divide them into 3 equal bits, then 1/3 equals 3, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3. So how much would 2/3 be? Well, 2/3 must equal 6. Okay, 2/3 must equal 6. Thing to do, I guess, if you're struggling a little bit with that, because I'm going to have to get back to the other guys now. What I'm going to have to do is you can rewind and you can look at that. I'm going to leave this on the board as it is. Okay, so what is 2/3? Always think to yourself, right, the denominator is what I am dividing it by. So what I do, basically, I divide by denominator, and then I times by the numerator. So I do 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? Divide by denominator times by the numerator. Divide by denominator times by the numerator. DDTN. Divide by denominator times by the numerator. I'll show you how quickly that looks. So look, I'm going to have 2/4 of 20. So I'm going to divide by denominator. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Times by the numerator. 5 times 2 equals 10. And that would be my answer. Okay, don't worry if that's a little bit tricky. Yeah, I can see lots of negative likes and thumbs up in there, which is a bit of a shame because it won't help us push the video up to the top. So just so we can keep pushing this video up to the top of the YouTube list, it'd be really nice if all of you just go on and give a little thumbs up now. I'm going to go and pop a little thumbs up onto mine too, just to make sure that we keep it up at the top of the list. Another thing would be to say that, of course, tomorrow is Friday. And that means that we are going to be doing our, well done, thank you guys for popping your thumbs up. It's not that I need the appreciation, because you have to be here anyway, but it actually helps our YouTube channel. If we get more thumbs up, it helps us to be pushed up the list. What me and Mr. Keeling really hopefully need by Monday, we could do with 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. The reason is, once we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I can actually use my camera on my phone as well to film things. I mean, Mr. Keeling want to do things like cooking lessons and stuff like that. So if we can get it up to 1,000 subscribers, really helps that you put the thumbs up. If any of you can also just, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, or get friends and people to subscribe to. If we can get to 1,000, it really helps. Anyway, separate thing. Friday, tomorrow, quiz day. We always do some recapping. We're going to finish off our story by introducing the monster. We're going to be writing about the monster tomorrow. I love writing about monsters, all the adjectives and descriptions that we can do. We are going to recap some of the stuff in maths. Don't worry if you're finding this hard. We're going to be going over it loads and loads and loads. Next week, we're going to start looking at more fractions in our classwork too, which is going to be helpful. What else am I saying? Let me think. Quiz tomorrow for the prizes too, which is really, really good. Quiz, I'm going to come around and bring the prizes out. Yeah, we've had 6 winners so far who have all got bags of sweeties. By the way, you can win the sweeties more than once. Don't think because you have won it already doesn't mean you can't get it again. I will give the same sweeties to the same person every week if they keep contributing and doing it really well. You go into Google Classrooms, but I'll show you all about that tomorrow. Is there anything else I need to remind you? Remember to register, please. Don't forget to go onto Google Classrooms to register. Remember that this is not the end of your work. In fact, there's something I need to remind you. Remember, you go to the Anglesey Primary School website after this, have a look on class pages year 3, and you're going to find all the rest of your work. Now, a few children and parents have been texting us in and sending us emails saying that they think there is too much work, okay? They are a bit stressed. Look, the government asks that you do 4 hours of work a day, okay? 4 hours. If you want to push yourself and do 5 or 6, that's great, but don't overstress yourself. If you're getting towards the end of the day and you've not finished everything, leave it. Do not stay up late. Do not overstress, okay? It is important that you rest as well as work. So you do your work through the day, you spend your morning working after lunchtime and that, and when you have finished and when you need to stop, stop. Don't feel you need to do every single last thing, okay? We'd love it if you can, but if you can't, don't worry. If you're finding something tricky, I will remind you, have a look at stuff year 2 is doing. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed to look at year 2 stuff. Mr. Keeling is popping stuff on there. Yeah, other teachers are popping stuff on there, which is really, really good. Use it. It's there for you. And if you're finding stuff easy, use year 4's work. Use year 5's work. It's all there available for you. DDTN, absolutely. Divide by denominator times by the numerator. Always a good thing to remember. Right, is there any more questions? Please complete the register on Google Classroom, Ms. Choate says. Yeah, Zane, 4 hours might sound like a lot, but it's actually less than you would be doing if you came into school. Think about it like that. Yeah, you'd be doing more than that if you actually came in for a school day. The government asks if you're in Key Stage 2, you should be doing at least 4 hours of work a day. Yusuf Mohammed Mir, Yusuf, don't put your passwords on the chat, okay? I'm just going to remove that quickly. Don't put your passwords on the chat. It's really important that we don't share passwords on live chat, okay? Anything else? Any more questions? Not a test tomorrow. It's a quiz tomorrow. Bye, Sultan. Lovely to see you. Bye, Anwar. Bye, Ayub. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you so much. You can go now if you want. I'm only going to stay around for a little bit to see. Don't forget to add a like and things. Make sure you're subscribed. It really helps for the channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Well done for turning up. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, same time. We're going to be doing our quiz. We're going to be doing our description for the monster. Can't see any more questions particularly. If everyone's okay, that's really good. Then I'm going to leave now. If you want to chat to your friends, you're welcome, Harris. Not a problem. If you want to chat to your friends, go onto Google Classroom now, guys. Why don't you all go onto Google Classroom and start chatting with each other? That's what Google Classroom's there for. I've got one chat in my year 3 thing between our kids in 3J. There's loads of conversations going on, right? Get into Google Classroom, go and chat to your friends. That's writing sentences. I don't mind. You can do it for a bit. Spend half an hour chatting to them. Bye, Ahil. Bye, Harris. Bye, Musa. Bye, Rita. Bye, Zainab. Bye, Anwar. Goodbye, Zain. Well done, guys, for turning up. Off you go. See you later. See you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.